Hello and welcome to our kitchen. It is another demonstration Monday, and today we are going to be focusing on science through pancakes. So we're going to combine the ever tasty pancakes and the ever awesome science into one awesome platter of experimentation. So to start off, Magnolia and I are going to share with you some of the items that you will need for this experiment. You'll need a couple of bowls, pancake mix. If you don't have pancake mix, you can make up 2 or more different types of pancakes with different recipes. So you'll need milk, flour, malted milk and or sugar. This comes in different flavors. Make sure you get original. If you want to try chocolate too, that'd be a fun experiment too. Baking powder and baking soda.
Vanilla extract. Me and my mom like to add extra, but you don't have to. Salt, butter, some eggs, and your utensils for measuring.
Of course, we'll need some way to whisk up and mix up the pancakes. So we have 2 whisks here. And you'll need some sort of heat source to heat up your pancakes. So I have an electric griddle, or you can use a skillet. Some of the science experiments discuss the different ways of how to measure flour. So if you have a kitchen scale, that'll also come in handy and add an extra fun element to it. But if you don't have a kitchen scale, that's just fine too. And of course, you'll need something to flip-flop your pancakes. So I have a flip-flopper right here. Thanks for joining us. We are going to get started, and then at the very end, we will eat our experiment to see what happens. So of course, you'll also need some sort of additions to your pancakes, like syrup or
chocolate chips, whipped cream,
blueberries, peanut butter, applesauce, butter, anything, sprinkles, anything you like to put on your pancakes. Get that stuff out too. All right, we have all of our ingredients measured out. I have flour, malted milk, baking powder, eggs and vanilla, butter, and milk. Magnolia has flour, salt, sugar, eggs and vanilla, and milk. Now, we have different ingredients. Things that are different, I have the melted butter, and I also have the malted milk. The recipe that I always make at home calls for malted milk, and I think it makes things taste a little extra awesome, and we're going to compare it with the sugar as well. Another thing that is different is I have the baking powder and Magnolia does not. So we're going to be making different chemical reactions using an acid and a base. Our acid is the buttermilk that we are going to make, which uses another acid of lemon juice, our secret ingredient. So I'm going to add a little lemon juice to my milk and to Magnolia's milk, and we're going to mix it up. Now when we combine the lemon juice with the milk, it curdles the milk just a little bit, and then we've got our lemon juice is the acid. Our base is the baking powder. Now remember, I only have the base. I only have the baking powder. So what we're going to do is we're going to combine our ingredients, and then they have to rest for half an hour. The recipe I usually make, I make it the night before, and then we have pancakes in the morning. But we're going to do everything at the same speed, so everything rests for the same amount of time. So we're going to go ahead and mix our dry ingredients first, and then we're going to add our wet ingredients into the dry ingredients and mix them up really well. You ready? All right, we are going to let our batter rest for a half an hour, and then we will heat it up on our electric skillet. And I'm going to get some close-up shots of the pancakes with my camera phone, so you'll be able to see a little closer. So what do you think is going to happen when we heat up our batter? What is the pancake batter going to look like? And why is it going to happen that way? So when we combine our liquid and our dry ingredients, our acid and our base, it forms a chemical reaction, and the chemical reaction is gas or bubbles. So our batter is resting. Go ahead and pause this video if you want for a half an hour even. You can pretend like you're resting as well with our batter at the same time, or you can keep on watching and see what happens next. So our batter has rested for about half an hour. While we wait for my electric griddle to heat up, I want to remind you that recipes and cooking is science and math in life. So when you're doing this recipe, if you have younger siblings, or if you're an adult watching this to get ideas for any of your kids, cooking is math. Talk and compare about measuring cups and spoons. Those are fractions. You can lay them all out and how many of these go into one of these. Recipes also call for a specific amount of time, 99% of the time. So you can talk about math, your 5, 10, 15, 20. That's math on a clock. You can also do addition and subtraction on your clock as well, or on your timer. Ask about what you're seeing, what you're smelling, what you're hearing, and in the case of a pancake experiment, also what you're tasting. All right, so I can feel the heat coming off of my electric griddle. I can smell the pancake batter. And I can see that they also look very different.
All right, everyone, we are looking at batter number 1. I'm going to look in a little closer, zoom in. We can see there's lots of bubbles in here. Let's see how big they are. Look at that. Pop. Pop. So our acid and our base combined and made lots of really great large bubbles. Now let's go over to number 2. Now, there's bubbles, but they're not quite as big, are they? They're a lot smaller, not nearly as many bubbles in number 2 as in number 1. So let's take a look again at number 1. Oh, look at all those bubbles.
All right, our batter is ready. I feel the heat is ready. There it is telling me my griddle is hot enough. So our acid and our base, our powder, and our buttermilk have combined and created those air pockets that we saw. And now we're going to add a whole new level of science to our experiment. We're going to change the type of matter that our batter is. I like rhymes. So sue me. So currently, what type of matter is our batter? It's runny and it can flow. So it is a liquid. When we apply heat and energy to our liquid batter, what is it going to turn into? A solid. You're right. If you said solid. So I have 2 measuring cups, so we're not combining our batters and ruining our science experiment. And we're going to make 2 pancakes of each. So when we apply heat to this batter, it's going to change from a liquid to a solid. And when our batter solidifies, it is also going to trap in those pockets of air. And when we have more pockets of air that survive the heat and the flipping, we have our fluffy pancakes. So which one is going to be fluffier, recipe number 1 or recipe number 2? Which one had the most air pockets in it?
All right, look at that. Batter 1 and batter 2. What is happening to that first pancake compared with the second one? Very different.
All right, as you saw, there are lots of air bubbles in recipe number 1, and this one looks like it's ready to be flipped. I'm going to gently flip it. I usually don't make pancakes this big. That one got burnt a little bit, but that's okay. All right, this one looks like it's ready to be flipped. For more science and ideas, visit the post along with this video, and there's so many links, lots of more food-related science that you can do together as a family. Oh, guys, look at these pancakes. These ones are quite skinny. We look, 2 of these pancakes is about the same thickness as one of these pancakes. Now it's time for my favorite part of this experiment. We're gonna eat it. Hooray! Oh, can you see the steam rising off of these pancakes? Let's get that a little closer. We've got that nice gray backdrop. You can see the steam rising. So that is another state of matter, that steam, the air. What is happening to that? Oh, science! All right, now it is time to taste our experiments. Take a closer look. This was batter number 1, batter number 2. You can see the air pockets right here in this pancake. Maybe not so much on that side because I burnt that side. And then you'll also notice the thickness difference. Look how thick batter number 1 turned out compared to batter number 2. Now, Magnolia did a really good job making batter number 2, but the difference was what? What was in mine that wasn't in yours?
Butter and baking.
The baking powder that made a big difference to our batter. So now, let's taste them. What are we going to taste first? Yours? Okay, we're going to taste number 2 first. And so it's a nice, even test. We're not adding any of the syrup or anything to them yet, but
It's like a gelatin.
yeah,
It's like gelatin.
yeah.
But it's still really good.
It tastes good, yeah.
Just tastes a little bit different.
All right, are we ready to taste number 2? All right, number 2.
Ooh,
Ooh,
that is really good.
that is really good. That'll soak up the syrup really nicely.
Mhm.
All right, I'm excited to make up the rest of the batter and have a pancake dinner. Who doesn't love breakfast for dinner? Not me. What do you think? Should we add some eggs and bacon to our meal too?
Eggs, but not bacon.
I like bacon. All right, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed watching us cook, and I hope this inspires you to do some science in your kitchen with your family as well. Be safe, Have a great rest of your day. Bye. I hope you enjoyed our experiment today. I encourage you to get permission from your adult and experiment at home. Inspiration for this experiment today came from STEM to Story by 826 National, edited by Jennifer Tragg. And there is a chapter in here, and it includes the pancake science experiment. The recipes are a little different, so I went online and looked for more recipes and more science behind fluffy pancakes as well. So I was encouraged by this book to do a little more research. If you are a teacher, or you are a homeschooling family, or if you're a kid super interested in science, this book is located in our resource collection. So when we open back up, request this one. There's lots of really great experiments and research-based talking points that you can do at school and at home, and lots of great ways of how to connect the two worlds as well. Some of the experiments include the science of saving daylight, rocket science and ice cream, oobleck, tinfoil shipbuilding, and this one sounds really fun, rewriting the zombie apocalypse. The activities are geared for grades 5 through 8 in this book. And again, it's STEM to Story. And as I mentioned throughout the video, I have included book lists and other links to the pancake science experiment in this post. All right, have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for joining us.